Anyway, hello everyone. My name is Georgi, and for those Cantonese speakers, if you cannot remember, you just say Georgi Sai. You will remember my name. So you can reach me in one of these whatever handles you want. And also, I'm one of the PSF directors from, or rather, Python Software Foundation, among with the 11 other members here that you can see. So I'm also a treasurer, and a lot of us comes from different parts of the world, as you can see the representation. It's going to change this year because there are 2 new members from Africa that's joining. So Dawn will be stepping down, and we will be having a new chair soon. All right. So you might think that the board could look something like that. You know, like, wow, Python community, that's like big thing, you know? But in reality, this is how we look like. So a little question here. How many of you here use Python for work? Wow, okay. And how many use Python for school? Nice. How many use Python for fun private projects? Okay. How many of you don't use Python at all? Okay. Are you kidnapped? Blink twice. I'll get help.
I want to learn Python.
Okay. So most of us here learn Python in different ways. From you Google search, and there's so many other ways that you can learn Python. There's YouTube, there's Stack Overflow, tutorials, bootcamp. And for me, I'm actually not a developer. So I don't code for a living. And I usually code. My life, how I live, is always in eco mode. So you know, like your washing machine, your dishwasher, your TV, you have the low energy, minimal effort. That's how I am. So I don't really learn something until I really need to save energy. So I was born in Singapore, and I migrated to France when I was around 20. And yes, of course, I eventually become French, and I got a French passport. So before I actually moved to France, I actually did study French at school for 2 years. So I thought I was ready, you know, but it was only a thought. I had the vocabulary, I had the grammar, I was thinking like, you know, I finally can use those 2 years of what I learned at school to, in practical. But then when I arrived in France, wow, I realized I was wrong. Everything I learned in school was not built for survival. The curriculum looks great on paper. It started with meaningful questions like, who I am, how do I feel, what is your heritage? All sounds really practical, but when it comes to life, it does not work. Nothing helped me to buy a baguette. So when I first arrived in France, I needed to buy a baguette. Simple, right? You just step in and you walk into the bakery, you queue up. So when it comes to my turn, I start to think like, okay, I have to say hello. My mind pull out the data from what I learned. Bonjour, je m'appelle Georgi. Wait, why do I say my name? I don't need to tell the person my name because I'm only buying bread. So I say, okay, let me think. Je suis content d'ici. No, I cannot say that because I'm happy, but I don't need to tell them. Then I say, okay. Think what you said, what you learned. And I say, je voudrais, I would like, perfect, a bread, baguette. Then I look in the shop, I say, oh, there's so many different kinds of baguette. I cannot tell them baguette because they will ask me what. So I started panicking, and then there were people everywhere queuing behind me, and I used my golden finger. And I said, sa, la. So of course they understand because they follow my direction, right? And that's 2 words that I remember. And the woman looked at me like, okay. And they said, combien? I said, oh, combien? Combien means combien? I don't know what is combien. Combien sounds like combine. That she wants me to combine something. And I saw that I don't know what to do, and she saw that I was struggling. So she helped me. She said, like, une, deux, trois, quatre. I said, I know numbers. I said, deux. So she understood, and then she said, oh, okay. And then she asked me another question. She said, avec ceci? Avec is with. Ceci. Who is ceci? Why is ceci involved in my order? So I panicked. I have doubts. And when I panic, whenever I panic, when I make an order, I just say no. So I said no. And then everything seems to go well. I want to cover my embarrassment. So I just say, I look outside, weather, I learned weather, il fait beau. And then she was like, yeah, why, il fait beau? She said like, oh, this woman, crazy. And slowly she packed everything, I paid, I was like, I survived, almost. And I said, merci, au revoir. And so, that's how I failed in buying a baguette, even though I studied 2 years of French. So a few years later, I moved to Thailand. And this time I had a new strategy because I still don't really learn Thai yet. So I decided not to learn anything. Not a single word. No textbook, no Duolingo, no hello, my name is. So I just jumped in. I thought, well, if 2 years of French don't give me anything, including buying a baguette, might as well just go like that and learn. So in Thailand, I really got into Muay Thai, and I was like training 5 times a week. I went crazy. I picked up Thai around with all the people at the gym, and then I looked like locals because I was so tan, and I speak like them. So I thought like, yeah, this time I'm doing well. But then, when I started hanging out with the Thai friends outside the gym in Bangkok, that's when I found out that I was speaking the village level Thai. So the people, when they spoke to me, they was like, where do you learn your Thai? Just like, that's quite village style and the slang that you use. I was like, okay, so now I have to readjust my Thai so that I can speak in the correct level of Thai that fits in. But good thing, when I go to buy food, street food, they love me because I speak like them, so I get extra food. So by now you know that I believe that when you immerse yourself in the community, you learn faster and better. So that's where I realized that when I hit the wall with a project that's Ruby, the language, related, I don't want to take a course. So I started the community. And it worked. The project happened, I learned from people, sharing with what actually works, and the community is still standing here, there. Eventually I found my way to the Python community, or rather they found me. I was working on the logo website, and then the marketing, and eventually the PyCon HK 2021. And the best part, I did all of them without touching a single line of Python code. So my friend, you're fine. So, well, at least not yet. Then, one day I got a message from this PyLadies group, Teresa, who is the founder of PyLadies Hamburg. And she asked me if I would like to help co-organize an online conference for the International Women's Day with Lorena Mesa. So this is not just any conference. It's like one stream pre-recorded across 3 different time zones, Asia, EMEA, and Americas. So then we have speakers and attendees joining from everywhere around the world. And while we were building this website, we hit a common problem. Can you guess what it is? Nope. Oh, time zone. So how do we actually show the schedule in the right local time? Because everyone is going to be connected on their laptop and have different time and flexible, and you want to make sure that everybody can fit in the right time and they could understand it. So what do? I deploy Python. So I built a simple time zone app and something that lets attendees switch the time closest to them. Nothing fancy. And here's the thing, I didn't learn the Python through any course. I actually learned from the community. So I just like, okay, I need to solve this problem. What am I going to do? I search and then, did I make a mistake because it couldn't get through? And I asked my friend around, like, do you know what went wrong? So everybody helped. And I managed to get through it pretty easily. I learned actually way faster. And I learned not alone, but with the community. According to the TOB index, in July 2025, so this is very recent, Python is still the most popular programming language in the world. It has plus 10.85% increase this year, which is massive. This is massive for a language that's already been #1. What does that mean? It's not just growth, that's the momentum. So here's the real question, why? Why is Python so popular even after all these years? It's definitely not bug-free. I'm sure every one of you who uses Python, you have the peep instances, like you say, why didn't this work well? Oh, you peep! You know, so to understand that, we have to go back to the beginning. Let's start from the beginning where Guido van Rossum, by the way, his name is pronounced Guido, not Guido, not Guido, not Guido. So to make things simple, Guido, he wrote a lot of languages and he wants something really special and simple. Easy to read, easy to use, easy to share. But he didn't want it to be just powerful, but also approachable. And the most important thing, he wants others to help improve it. And that's the reason why he chose to keep it open source all as well. It wasn't just building a language. It was about building a community around the language. So as more people discovered Python, they loved how simple and intuitive it was. More developers joined in, more tools were built, and suddenly it wasn't just Guido maintaining a small side project. It was turning into a full ecosystem, and you need people, processes, and support. And that's when they start running sprints, gathering where contributors work with Python together, and out of those sprints came something bigger. In 2003, the first ever PyCon US was held. It wasn't fancy, no big sponsors, it was actually a shared space in a university. And it was really just a group of nerds, hanging out together and like build something that we enjoy and learn. And it was a big hit. So it raises a new challenge then. Somebody actually needs to run these events, handle the logistics, the funding, the legal side, the trademarks, the community support. Well, if Guido and the core developers need to do and improve the language, they couldn't do this alone. And that's when the PSF was born, the Python Software Foundation. And the mission is to promote, protect, and advance the Python programming language. Then we also do support and facilitate the growth of a diverse and international community. So the PSF would actually handle all the things the developers didn't have time to do. So that includes like the infrastructure, the legal and IP, the outreach and community of this support. Basically, they will feel comfortable that someone will take care of that while we continue to improve the language. And here's a simple way for you to understand how the PSF works. Basically, the ecosystem is split into two main groups. So on the right here, you have the PEPs side, where people focus more on the language itself. That includes the steering council that makes the top level decision for the language, the core developers, and the CPython developers in residence. So what does that mean, the CPython developers in residence? It simply means that they are actually sponsored by a couple of big names like Meta and Bloomberg and all this to help improve CPython. And they are the ones, so all the PEP groups are the one that helps to shape the language. Then on the left, you have the PSF side, and these are the people keeping the community alive and running. So there will be like the paid staff, the full-time working staff or part-time. You have also volunteers who help organize events like this, and the board like us, and the members of the community like all of you. So two sides, similar mission. So how does this apply to you? Now this is the community that what we are talking about most. Python grows because people show up, people help, people teach, and people build together. So where do I start? You will say, like, what do I do now? How can I help? I believe that you always have to start from yourself. Start from where it comes inside you, what really interests you. You know your strength, because yours and mine is not going to be the same. And that's a good thing, and that's how Python community works really well, because we are all different. And so you find your motivation, what's going on that interests you, and what makes you feel more confident in. Let me show you some examples. You can always start local. That's the easiest way to do, start local. And that's how I did it too, and that's how a lot of us started. It's always easier to begin with where it's close to you. Join a local community like the Hong Kong Python meetup. At first, you can just show up, say hi, listen in, and when you're really like, okay, I'm feeling comfortable, this feels like somewhere I can hang out with these people, then you can give a lightning talk, or you can share a tool that that you like and the idea that you want to share with others, or give a talk in Python. Or after that, when you feel comfortable, or you feel like, I'm not really into doing public speaking, then you can be part of the group and the community to volunteer to work things out. You don't have to do everything. You just have to start where you feel right. So if you're more into the language itself, you can contribute directly to Python. Like you can pick an issue, you can write some documentation, you can fix a bug. And well, I understand that CPython is not the easiest. I tried it before. I had a lot of hurdles that I have to jump to get to there, especially when I don't code. I was just curious, you know. But you don't have to start big. You don't have to jump straight into CPython. There are a lot of smaller projects related to Python that you can contribute to. And one great example is one friend of mine, Jessica. She's a blind Pythonista. So I always have a lot of, I'm always inspired when I see her, because if Jessica is blind and she can contribute, I say, I can do it too. And so she started off contributing to PyPandoc, and because she used it regularly for her projects. And then she started submitting all the issues, just submitting and say, I need this solved, I need this solved. But somehow the maintainers couldn't keep up with all her PRs. So they said, you know what, Jessica, just join us and you be one of the maintainers. We give you access and you help us to improve. And that's how she became the maintainer. So she didn't wait to become an expert. She just followed what interests her and her motivation, and she kept going. The key is very simple. You start before you're ready. You don't need to become an expert before you start. Many of us in Asia, we grow up thinking that, oh, we should speak up only when we are very, very good. But here's the truth. You have to be bad first before you're good. And it's very scary. Nobody wants to get wrong. Nobody wants to get rejected. But if you think about it, it's often the mistakes that we made that we actually remember most. And so be like Jessica, start where you're curious, and you can go on. Another thing that I would like to introduce to you is the work groups. So if you would like to contribute globally, there's actually a work group coming on in the PSF. There are 3 main sections. The infrastructure and ecosystem, you have the packaging work group that maintains the PyPI, the pig, the setup tools, packaging.python.org. You have the trademarks that manage the trademark for Python. You have the user experience. This is new, Python user experience, because we couldn't send the website. We say it needs to be improved. So that's why it just started. And then we have the community side, which is the diversity and inclusion work group, which I'm currently leading, helping to stay, the PSF to stay global and inclusive. And you have the education work group that collects all the resources and for the educators and the local organizers. The fellows work group are those who actually provide, like someone, if you see around you, someone has been contributing to the community, you can actually vote for them and say, oh, I want to nominate them to become a fellow. And that's where the fellows work group will be the one saying yes or no. And then you have the Python job board work group. Actually, there's only one person. It's just to accept the jobs and to just validate, Then you have one of the most important one, which is the funding and policies. The grants work group are the ones that propose and say yes or give out the money that we have as the foundation to different conferences and work groups. And the code of conduct are the one that helps to provide guidance across the community. So we make sure that there's fairness, support, and safety. And of course, PSF isn't the only path. There are other possibilities, like the PyLadies, which supports women and marginalized genders. That's actually Hilo. Or you can do PyData. PyData, if you're more into data science, machine learning, or analytics, and if you're a scientist, look into NumPy or SciPy, because there's so many communities around, and that's why Python is the best. It's the largest, And there's also the Python Asia, which is the new organization in Asia that connects all the organizers and contributors together. The point is, there is always space for every one of you, whether you are into code, whether you are into events organizing, or education, or research, or just want to meet friends. So if you remember nothing else from my talk today, except the baguette, you don't have to start big. You just have to start. I didn't learn Python through a course. I didn't learn from specific bootcamp, but I just learned from people through the community. And you can start small. And that's what makes Python different. It's not just a language. It's the people behind who teach it, shape it, translate it, document it, fund it, and welcome you into the community, even if you don't know where to start. So you cannot just download the Python community. It doesn't happen that way. You just jump in and be part of it. And eventually you will feel like you're really part of it and you are comfortable. And that's where Brett Cannon said, you come for the language and you stay for the community. And yes, the secret recipe to Python is better than Lee Kum Kee. And by the way, Lee Kum Kee is powered by Python too. Look at the pandas. So now, time for sales pitch. If you would like to become a PSF member, you can scan all of this code here. One of them, the basic one, is just very simple. For free, you can just scan and you become a basic member and you receive updates from newsletter. You have like the supporting, if you would like to donate, and then you scan the supporting membership. If you are someone that has been helping out in a community for a long time and you can prove that you are part of a community, sign up as a self-certified. And if you want to get someone up and to become a fellow, scan the fellows group site. Now, because I'm here, you have a special sticker if you sign up today. So I will give you, if you just show me a scan, and the first 10 people who actually come in will get one free fresh flower directly flew from Amsterdam. That's only first 10. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. That's it.